Hey guys, it's ISO here, and I know it's been a while, but I just needed to come back because I think Wizard101 is probably about to drop one of its best updates ever. Like, I'm telling you, one of the best updates ever. Do you guys remember the nostalgic feeling of grinding waterworks for the gear, or even like grinding like Darkmoor to get those like best in slot gear? But it's not raid based, and it's actually like a dungeon based farming. Like, you go into the dungeon, you have to come up with a strategy with 3 other people, you have to go through the different things, figure out the cheats, and you know, you get a piece of gear, and at the end when you kill the final boss, after a tough fight, you're just excited to see the drop. And I think Wizard101 is about to drop that for the Wallari gear. The new Nightmare Dungeon teaser was posted on Twitter, and this dungeon will essentially have the level 170 Wallari gear, which includes the hat, the robe, the boots, and the wand. Because right now, currently, once you finish Wallari, I don't think you can get those things yet. Well, not think, you can't get those things yet. You can only get the Athame, Amulet, Ring, and Deck right now, which is farmed from the different bosses that you fought around the storyline. You know, currently you can get the badges after killing the bosses a certain number of times, and you know, craft the gear itself. So they have a pity system for this right now. But this upcoming dungeon will have the hat, robe, boots, and wand, which will kind of be designed in like a Darkmoor type of way, or like a Waterworks type of way, or even Tartarus type of way. And honestly, I think this is going to be one of the best updates, because coming together with 3 other people and farming the gear is kind of like a core memory for me as a Wizard101 player who's played for like literally pretty much every year. And it won't have the difficulty rating of like raids itself, because raids have like prereqs, right? You need to be in a guild, which is already a hassle in this game. You need to have like, I think it's 12 people. You need to be in like a Discord call together, and you need to be communicating and stuff like that. But you know, it won't be like easy like you go in with like, I think the dev stated that it won't be like a 7-card dungeon where you just go in with like, I don't know, enchant, hit, you know, frenzy, like blade. You'll need more, you know. It'll be more like a more difficult dungeon like Darkmoor, but it won't be like a raid where you would need like communication and all these like prerequisites like Azoth and stuff like that, you know. So there's gonna be strategies and stuff, but the difficulty level is gonna be at a point where it's fun, not too annoying for like raids, or for stuff like raids and stuff like that. It'll be fun difficulty. Another thing is, I believe they'll also be having a challenge mode for this dungeon, and I think it'll be kind of like a raid mechanic type difficulty. Not like you would need to be communicating with whoever you're doing that with. I assume that's how challenge mode will be. But another thing to add is that, from what I heard, the wand will have universal damage as well as your school damage, which means this update will also polish dual schooling. But I'm also kind of scared that it'll also make dual schooling too broken, because there are going to be like ice wizards or like life wizards running around with like really high storm damage using storm spells, which have really high damage per pip, and while having the resist of an ice or a life. So I'm scared of that. So hopefully they'll do something to counteract that. And I believe the new wand will also have shadow pip chance, and you know, which is like more, this is more relates to PvP. But overall, I think this update is going to be an insane update, solely because of the fact that, well, it's like we're gonna have something to grind again. It's like you do the run, you know, you get your hat and you're doing it with your friend. Your friend's like, oh, I didn't get it, let's go again. And it's like, it reminds you of those like old memories where you stayed up late night farming the dungeon, farming waterworks, for example. I remember being level 60 for the first time like years ago, and I remember doing waterworks, and I looked forward to it so much. Like when I looked forward to finishing Celestia, getting level 60, and boom, you know, I get to farm waterworks for this new level of gear. And I think it'll have like the similar nostalgic feeling, or like when Tartarus first came out and that gear was best in slot. You know, it was an amazing feeling. You got to grind with people, but it wasn't too difficult where you would need to be in a Discord call or something, but it was difficult enough that you needed some type of strategy. And you know, it's not just 7 cards, you need like multiple cards because you need to survive the fight throughout. It'll be like high HP bosses and stuff like that. So I think this update is essentially gonna steer Wizard101 towards what it was before, when people actually like enjoyed the game. You know, Nova's farming was very like boring, because it wasn't like a dungeon where the gear would drop. It was like a random chance of the gear dropping. I hope it's not it doesn't drop like gear for like different schools, but I mean, knowing the trend of like how the Athenes and stuff like that works, I think it will drop the gear for other schools as well. But I hope there's a pity system, because if there's no pity system and the gear will drop for any school, you're gonna be in there for a long time. And I think that kind of takes the fun out of it, because in like Waterworks and like Tartarus and stuff like that, you only get your school's gear, right? So I hope it's like that, or there's a pity system at the least. But overall, I think this is a big, like a really big step towards, you know, making the game more fun. Because now when people finish Walaru, they'll look forward to like, oh yeah, I get to grind the new Nightmare Dungeon and get the new best gear and stuff like that. You know, the feeling of doing Waterworks on a new character, it's like really exciting because you get that little stat boost and stuff like that. But I do hope the dual school thing gets checked out, and you know, I hope it's not too OP. I hope it doesn't ruin it. But yeah, this update is great for PvE and PvP players, because PvE players have like new gear to look forward to, new gear to grind, because I know PvE players still want the best gear, and PvP players have like new gear to get as well. They can get this gear, they can try new setups with it, you know, combo it with like raid gear or like anything else, you know what I mean? But overall, guys, I think this is a great update. I'm so excited to do this dungeon. I think it comes out within this week, the next few days most likely, from what it was teased. And Wizard101 did reply to somebody on Twitter and say it will come out soon, which I'm expecting is the next few days. But you know, just know I'll probably be putting out a video on that. And yeah, guys, have a great night.